Okay, so I asked my clients through Instagram whether they wanted to see how you could remove or just live with the growth on your nails. As you can see, my nails haven't grown that much yet. Actually, they have, but I put new polish on it. See right there. You can see a little bit of growth right there. So I'm just gonna demonstrate on one nail first how you could keep your nails, the acrylics, which is actually the best way to do it. Like, don't remove your nails right away, because it's better to just leave the acrylic and not damage your natural nail than to try to remove all of it and then damage your natural nail in the process. So if you want to just live with it, what you're gonna need is a 100 grit file, a 240 grit file, and just some regular nail polish or gel polish if you have it at home. But just do some regular nail polish just to like make it look neat again, and to just go over the growth that you have. So with the 100 file, what you're gonna do is you're gonna shorten the nail as much as possible. So because the longer the nail is and the more the acrylics grow, the bigger the chances that it's gonna break, it's gonna snap. So you're just gonna file the nail completely. I know this sounds horrible and I don't know. So I'm not gonna go too far personally, because I'm also gonna remove after this, so then I'm gonna file more. And usually a nail tech put gel polish on top. If it's just a colored acrylic, just file a little bit. You don't have to file that much. But if there's gel polish on top, you're gonna wanna remove the gel polish, because otherwise the regular polish won't stick. So you're gonna use the 100 grit file again, and you're just gonna go over your nail until you remove the gel polish. Also file the sides a bit, and you can see here, I think if it wants to focus, you can see here the clear is coming through. So I'm filing the gel polish off. Don't file the natural nail. If there's any gel polish on the natural nail, just leave it. You're gonna go over with the 240 grit file anyway. That file is a lot softer, so it doesn't damage your natural nail as much as the 100 grit would. It's just something you need to know. Don't use too low a grit of a file on your natural nail, because it will damage. And you just keep going. Don't stay in the same place for too long, because it'll burn, it'll hurt. So keep moving around while filing off your gel polish. Don't forget the sides. Be careful with your skin. I know I'm a bit rough, so like what I'm doing might look kind of horrible, but it's because it's my own nail, and I know it's terrible. I'm setting a terrible example, but I just want to show you guys how to make your nails look on fleek. You see here most of the product, like the acrylics, are still on there. Like you can see that. It's still pretty sturdy. It's just the gel polish I filed off of here. And then with the 240 file, you're gonna try to remove that last bit of polish around your cuticle. And on your natural nail. If this doesn't work, or if it's taking too long, for your comfort, you can go back in with the 100. Just make sure not to touch your skin or your natural nail. So really careful. Go around the nail. last bits with the 240 file. Be really careful. Okay. So you can see most of it's gone now. If there's a little bit left, don't worry about it. You can leave it. It doesn't damage your nail just being there. Also, look at the way it's filed. You can tell there's no big lump. That's because I have a growth. I don't know if you can tell. Yes, I have a growth of about 2 weeks, but the polish growth was only 1 week because I keep renewing my polish, but I don't renew my acrylics every week. So what I do is I just file off like I just did, and then I just put new polish on top. And what I do when I do that is I make sure that this part right here, you can see it right there, that it's nice, so there's no lump. But make sure not to file it too much, because if you're gonna file it too thin, it's not gonna be nice, and it's gonna be more breakable if you're gonna leave it like that. Okay, what you're gonna do then is you're gonna clean it with some alcohol, or just with a brush, with like a manicure brush or something. Yeah, you probably have those at home. If you don't, buy some, because it's really nice to clean your nails with. And then what you're gonna do, there's a little file on here, you're just gonna get your polish, and you're just gonna polish over. Just the way you would normally polish your nails. Just get close to your cuticle again. Make sure you take the sides. And that way, nobody can tell that you actually have a growth that's, in my case, 2 weeks long, or in maybe your case, 4 weeks. Okay, like this polish job is really bad, but you can tell. Like this, it looks like a new nail, right? Like there's no growth at all. And like this is my length, obviously, but if your length is like a lot shorter, just make sure to keep your nails short, and like the best length is like around here, so like half of what I have. Just make sure to do that. But I'm not going to keep this. I'm also going to remove my nail, so let's take this off. Okay, so in order to remove your nails, you're going to need a 100 grit file, a 240 grit file, acetone, a cotton and aluminum foil, and what you also need is cuticle pusher, preferably a wooden one. This is the one that I use on my clients so I can disinfect it every time, but preferably wooden ones, which I think I have. I don't know where. So, wooden cuticle pushers, they look like this. You can just use those. You can find them, I think, in every store right about now. So, I don't have anything. I just have acrylics on now because I just removed my gel. But what you're gonna do is first you're gonna shorten your nail. Just make it as short as your natural nail, or even shorter than that. Like my natural nail is right there. You might want to make it shorter. Sorry for the sounds that I'm gonna make. Why file and why not cut is if you cut, you don't have any control of what's gonna come with the cutting. So sometimes you might cut here, but it might go in there and it's gonna rip your nail. So now the length is gone. The only problem we still have is the thickness of the acrylics. So with the 100 grit file as well, you're going to try to thin it out. Don't go too far because you're going to damage your natural nail. So just, as I think you can see it here, my nail's pretty thick. That's because a lot of the apex is here, so that gives the nail strength. So you need to try to thin it out a little, just so the acetone doesn't have that much to go through. But like I said, don't do too much, and if you don't trust this process, just don't thin it out. Just go for the acetone right away, and just soak a little longer instead of short, like what they do in salons. Because as you know, when they remove in salons, what they do is they file the top as well when they soak off. If you go to a good salon and they actually do soak off. Okay, so what you have here is just a short nail with a little bit of acrylic. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your cotton. You're not gonna use the complete one because it's too big, it's too thick. You're gonna separate it in two. And then of one side, you're just gonna grab a little piece that's like big enough for your nail, like so. Oh, like that. Then you're gonna drench it in acetone, which you can get at any regular store. Put it on your nail, and then you wrap the aluminum foil around it. You could also do it in a bath, but I feel like your whole house will stink if you do that. So you just put it on. My glove is getting soaked. Just put it on, wrap it around, leave it for half an hour. You can do one whole hand and then leave it for half an hour, and then after half an hour you come back and you just look at what the state is of your nail.
A few moments later.
Okay, so once you've left it on for half an hour, it should look something like that. Ooh, there we go. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your cuticle pusher, the wooden ones. You're just gonna gently push it off. Okay, so if you've done all 5 of them, which I'm not doing, obviously, don't take it off all at once. So don't take every single piece of aluminum foil off. Just go finger by finger. So start with your pinky, take off the aluminum foil, and start taking off the acrylic. And then once you've done that with your pinky finger, go on to the next one. That way the acrylic won't dry up again, and it won't stick once again, and you don't have to start all over. As you can tell, it's already drying up. Okay. So it still looks like a mess, right? What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your 240 grit file and just file gently, because you don't want to hurt your natural nail. And if it doesn't all come off, don't be mad about it. Just leave it a little bit, because it's better to just leave a little bit of acrylic. Like if it has a color, then just put some colored nail polish on top, but don't over damage your nails just to get off your acrylic. The best thing to do is to also shorten your natural nail, because it's probably going to be a little bit thin. because of the removing. Don't keep them too long because they might tear on the sides, and you don't want that to happen. And I know we all love rocking our long nails, but right now in this situation, you just can't always. Okay, so my acrylic hasn't come off completely yet, also because I'm too impatient and I haven't let it sit for half an hour, but for 15 minutes. But I'm good with that. What I would do is just leave it, clean it with some alcohol, or just wash your hands. If it hasn't all come off in one go, you can just repeat the process. So just put some new acetone on a little bit of cotton, put some new aluminum foil around it, and just leave it for like another 10 minutes and see if the rest will come off or no. And like I said, you don't have to remove all of it, because what you can just do is just put some polish on top and nobody will notice. This is a measure to like not break your nails in the meanwhile and have emergencies and having to go to, I don't know, the doctor, because nobody has time for that, right? But I mean, looks pretty cool. And that's basically how you do it at home. So you just use aluminum foil, a little piece of cotton, and some acetone. And the acetone you could just get at Kruidvat or Etels or wherever. So I hope that helped, and I hope to see you guys soon again, because I miss you.